Kia ora Year 12, welcome back to Term 2. This is a video that's going to start us off on our next block of algebra work, which is on exponential equations. Now we're going to do a whole lot of stuff with these and they lead on really well to our graphing topic as well. But today what we're doing is reviewing the Walker workbook pages 24 to 25. So you probably don't need your calculator for any of these, but you do need to remember how fractional and negative powers work. Okay, so what I've got here is I've just done 5 equations on this first OneNote slide. And then I've done 5 equations on the second one, and I'm just going to work through each of them. So there are no independent work ones in this video. What I want you to do is go and do the Walker questions when you've finished this. Okay, so what we've got to remember is how logs work, and for some of us, we've probably forgotten that. So I want you to remember how to do the loopy thing to turn any log equation back into an exponential equation. So this one here is going to be 10 to the power of 1 is equal to x. So I made that first one really easy. What's x? X is simply 10. Okay, and we're going to do that for all of these 5 questions. So if you want to, you can pause the video here and just have a go at those. I've deliberately put negative and fractional powers in most of these questions. Okay, so I'm just going to work through them one at a time. And in each case, this is what I'm going to do. So here we've got 2 to the power of negative 3 is equal to y. So that means 1 over 2 to the power of 3 equals y. Y is equal to 1/8. For this next one, it's the same idea. We're going to have 3 to the negative 2 is equal to y. 1 over 3 squared equals y. Y is equal to 1/9. Okay, so that's for equation number 3, and this is for equation number 2. On to the last 2. So doing our loopy thing again, this is what we're going to get. 49 to the power of 1/2 is equal to x. The power of 1/2 just means the square root. So this is one time where I like to write it back with third notation. So x is equal to 7. That's number 4. And then for number 5, it's going to be 9 to the power of 1/2, negative 1/2, is equal to that. So 9 to the power of negative 1/2 is equal to x. When we see that negative power now, we should be getting quite confident with knowing that it's 1 over 9 to the power of positive 1/2. And 9 to the power of positive 1/2 is simply the square root of 9. So that's 1 over 3. So x is equal to 1/3. Okay, so that's the first 5 done. On to the next 5. This time, what we're finding is the base of the log. And the base of a log has got to be a positive number. Now, I'll talk about that a little bit more in class if you want me to, but for now, that's all you've got to remember here. Okay, so we're going to do the loopy thing repeatedly on these questions and write them out as exponent equations. So we get b squared is equal to 81. So b is equal to 9. Now, just notice that I haven't said that it's equal to negative 9. Okay, sorry, it's the laptop's glitching. So it's not equal to negative 9 because b must be positive, right? So the log base has to be positive. Usually, if I were just solving any old equation, there would be 2 solutions to that. There'd be 9 and negative 9, but not in this case. Okay, the same thing with this one here. We're going to get x squared is equal to 36. So usually there would be 2 solutions to that equation, both negative 6 and positive 6. But here we're going to have x is equal to 6. And we can say that x is not equal to negative 6 because x must be greater than 0. Okay, what about this next one? So x to the power of 1/2 is equal to 5. That means that the square root of a number is 5. You can either do that just by seeing that the number must be 25, or you can do the same thing to both sides of the equation by squaring it. So in this case, I think most of you will probably spot that if the square root is 5, the number is simply 25. But in harder cases, what you might want to do is this. We're going to do the same thing to both sides. And we get x is equal to 25. Okay, I need a little bit more space here. So moving further down the page, working on this equation, I can see that there's going to be some kind of negative fractional power. So what do we have? Well, we've got x to the power of negative 1/2 is equal to 1/10. Now, x to the negative half is the same as 1 over x to the power of positive 1/2. So matching up the denominators, because I've already matched up my numerators, gives me a simpler equation, which is x to the power of 1/2 is equal to 10. And again, I do the same thing to both sides of the equation. I square both sides, and that gives me x is equal to 100. Okay, so there's my answer to that one. And then we've got something similar, but a little bit easier for this question here. So b to the power of negative 1 is equal to 28. 1 over b equals 28. So we can write 28 as 28 over 1. So that means that b is equal to 1 over 28. Okay, I'm happy to spend some time in class explaining that last step to those of you who want me to, but I'm not going to spend any more time on this video now. I want to keep it reasonably short. So what you need to do now is to get on with pages 24 and 25 in the Walker book. You will have done some of those already, so just fill up the gaps that you've got from earlier in the topic. Thanks for watching.